Somebody that when I first met him, his wallet, it was a rubber band. I don't remember. Okay? I'm like, okay. And he was very quiet. And he was wearing his fashion shorts, all ripped off. Or, I don't know, maybe because he didn't have anything else to wear. I don't know. And he was very quiet, and I'm going, is he even paying attention to me or what? And then he come up with different questions that is like, oh, in the beginning you say this, and I'm like, I don't even remember what I said in the beginning. And he's asking me questions. He was paying attention to everything that I was saying, everything. And thank God for that, because now he's one of the biggest leaders. I'm a big fan of him. He's my idol. I'm kind of a little bit jealous because he has a really gorgeous hair. And everybody knows him, right? So please give him a big applause to Rock of Earth.
Everybody give Lucy a round of applause as well. Hello. All right. So, I do a lot of stuff online. A lot of it has to do with consciousness and psychology, and I get a lot of questions from people. When did this start? When did you become interested in this topic of consciousness? When did you become open to talk about these things? And when I think all the way back, like when I started actually thinking about life and myself and what I can do, it was when I started eating organic. I remember actually the day when I made my first step. I threw, it was a fish sandwich from Burger King. I was eating it, and I was like, I can't eat this anymore, and I threw it out my car window on the way to hockey practice. And that was about 17, 18 years old, and right after that moment, I started eating, like quickly after I quit drinking soda, quit drinking Gatorade, quit drinking commercial stuff, started eating organic, and my whole life changed. I went to school for psychology, I got interested in meditation, consciousness, exercise even, and then I had the power and the will to move to California, where I ended up starting my own gyms, teaching people about health, exercise. It was my dream. And it all started because of the food. I made a switch in my food. I lived in Michigan, middle America, very mediocre, if I were to describe the lifestyle. Very just, what am I doing today? I'm eating what I want to eat. I go to work all day, I go home, I go to sleep, I watch TV. It was just a constant cycle. So the food really got me out of that life. And the gyms were awesome. That lasted about 10 years. Eventually I started getting sick of the overhead. Like Troy said, it's not easy. No business is easy. This business isn't easy. But definitely when you own a brick and mortar studio like a gym, it's tens of thousands of dollars every single month in bills. You can't leave. I was in downtown LA. There was no way I could ever think about going and living in a different country if I wanted to. It just wasn't even on the table. Maybe a week-long vacation, but that was about it. And when you own a business like that, you have a lot of employees that you pay way less money than they're worth. You have to. That's the whole function of the business, is to make as much profit as possible, and you have people that you do it. So all my employees were my friends. And I remember they would come, we would be friendly, but then they would go home and they would struggle with their bills. And all of this stuff started weighing on me. And I remember one day making a list, and I decided, like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I made a list of, like, what I wanted my next business to be like. And by this time, I already manifested the gym, right? I already created this dream life. So I knew that I could create what was next. I just had to design it. And I remember being at, it was like this vegan place in downtown LA. And I remember sitting there and I was writing down stuff like, no overhead, no location dependence, be able to sell it if I wanted to in a couple years, 100x my investment within 6 months, I think I put it. But It was just an impossible list. No employees. Be able to pay people more than what they were worth. And I closed my gyms, and one day, well, actually it was 5 years of Troy introducing Purium to me. But one day, my lovely wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, started really getting interested in Purium, and then that made me interested in Purium, and I actually started analyzing the company, and I started realizing, no location dependence, no overhead, no employees, basically very high profit margin off everything I do. We operate completely in the profit margin at Purium. We don't have overhead. What we do, we make a percentage of the profit. And I started realizing that this was my next manifestation. This was my dream come to me. And so I got involved in the company. And I just want to also just give a little bit more of what Troy was saying. I came into this as a business owner looking at it from a business standpoint. So I was really paying attention to, okay, the product that is being sold. Okay, it's good. Everybody thinks their product's good. But is there a need for it? Right? Like, is there an established problem that this product solves in the marketplace? That was number one. Number two is, can the company make money off of selling this product? So are people buying it? Is there money to be made so that the people selling the product, which is us, the brand partners, there's enough money for us? And all of that's true with this company. There's a massive need for this, all right? If you think back what I was telling you guys before my throw the fish sandwich out the window moment, I was very unconscious, very unaware. I was not making decisions based from a holistic standpoint of the people around me. Very selfish. If you guys think about the amount of people in this country, just this country, we're at hundreds of millions of people. Most of them are in that state, okay? And this product, this company, we have an ability to take people from that point where they're just watching TV, eating McDonald's, going to work. This is a mindless churn, all right? Designed. This is by design by corporate America. We need help to lift those people up, even just a notch, right? Get some fruits and vegetables that are organic, not poisoned, into their body. And that's what we can do with these products. So if you're here, it's because you have the ability to help, you have the awareness to help, and there's a lot of people out there that they're not there yet, and that's what we do. All right, when it comes to compensation, because I mentioned it, when we're actually looking at a business, any business, if you guys are analyzing this from that perspective, the important thing with this is that we have an ability to bring other people in. So what we want to know is this opportunity, it may be attractive to you, but is it going to be attractive to somebody else? All right, so when you analyze how is an opportunity attractive to somebody? Some important concepts are they can make money quickly, they can do it part-time if they want, or they can do it full-time if they want. And if they really want to go for it, they can go to the moon with it. All right? Very few opportunities out there have all of that. You can't just part-time, full-time, yeah, whatever I want, I'll do it some days. We can do that here. We can go to the moon too. I'm still on my way there. But I'm a good way there. So this is this is a needed, like we're on a mission and we need help. And there's a good opportunity for you. There's a good opportunity for somebody else. And if I think back 4 years ago to when I got involved, I was unsure, completely unsure, and didn't know what I was doing. And I'm just here to tell you that, like, that's normal. A lot of us didn't know what we were doing. When you see Troy up here, I'm sure there was a time where he wasn't that confident. Okay, he's been with Purium for 10-ish years. I've been with Purium for 4 years. But I definitely started off a little scared, a little timid, a little unsure, a little skeptical. And so if you're there, I just want to say that all dissolves over time. And the community that we have here is so welcoming. And amount of growth that you'll go through is going to be tremendous if you decided to come in and get involved with us. So that's all for me. But one of the main reasons why I'm here is because Carolina, my wife, was more interested in Purium than I was. And so all of our success, all of our life over the last 4 years has a lot to do with her. So I just want to introduce the love of my life, Carolina Teasdale.
Hi everyone, I'm so excited to be here, and thank you, Ra, for being friends with Troy. And thank you, Troy, for not giving up on us, not giving up on Ra for 5 years. And you changed your life. So thank you, Troy. Thank you, Lucy and Michael Maces, for opening your door. Just like Troy shared, Lucy has sat with me endless nights talking to me and mentoring me on how to build this business, because we build in community. So we always say in this business, we're in business for ourselves, but we are never alone. We're never by ourselves. We're always with a team. And I thank you, my team. There's so many. I saw Veronica, Maho, I mean, so many of you guys. I wouldn't be here without you. And of course, thank you, Dave and Amy, for creating this space for all of us to come together. So a little bit about me. I'm from Argentina, so hablo español. Tenemos una comunidad española muy grande. And I came to this country with my family for the American dream, and I had a dream to become an architect. I love designing spaces for people to come and experience their reality, so I became an architect. I went to the best schools in the world, I got scholarships, I became an architect, and I practiced professionally in Beverly Hills, Santa Monica for about 9 years. And even though I was very successful and I did everything that I was told to do to become successful, nobody told me the truth about getting a job and working for a paycheck. I worked a lot of hours, endless hours. Sometimes I had 90 hours a week of work, so I was heavily stressed. And even though I was making money, I was so stressed out that I was getting sick. And one day I found myself driving to work, crying in the car, wishing that I didn't have to go to work. And at the time, my boyfriend, Ra, he owned gyms, so during the day, he would go to the beach and slackline. And I would watch his stories and his Instagram, why is he at the beach? And I'm here as a slave working in this office until probably 10 p.m. tonight. And that's when one day I just decided to make a list, and we heard that before, make a list, and write down all the things that you wouldn't do if money wasn't an issue. And for me, it was helping people with their nutrition. I love to cook. I'm Italian, so I love to come together and cook for everyone. And at the time, I said, okay, I'm going to start these cooking classes on the weekends. I'm just going to teach people how to eat. And that's when Ra actually invited Troy. And Troy showed up with a big bucket of Power Shake. And he started making samples for everyone. And I really liked it. And that's when I said, oh my gosh, I don't have to juice. I don't have to go to the farmer's market. I don't have to wash the juicer and do all the things that I was doing before. I can just have this Power Shake. And that's when I learned that the company was also a network marketing company, and I could create a side income by doing what I was already doing and I wasn't getting paid for. So after looking at Purium, I saw that there's 4 reasons that were valid to me to join the business, and I want to share them with you. So one of them is the income potential. In this business, you decide how much you're worth. Not like in my architect job where I was told how much I was worth per hour or a year. In this business, you decide how much money you make. There isn't an income cap. You decide your cap. And to me, that was huge. So the second reason is the low risk. There's literally no risk to get started in this business. A few hundred of dollars can change your life forever. It's not like school where I had to spend thousands of dollars to become licensed and have a degree, and then you're not even guaranteed a job, but you're definitely guaranteed a debt when you go to college. So in this business, there's no risk. The third one is the freedom. This business is remotely. You take your business anywhere. Now I can actually be at the beach and make money out of it because I'm talking to people, I'm making friends, and really what we get paid for in this business is to become a professional friend. Because professional friends care for people. And the more friends that you have, the more money that you make, because everybody needs what we have. And it's remotely. I mean, it's so beautiful, as Lucy mentioned. I mean, she's traveling to Mexico. She's traveling everywhere. There's so many of our leaders that are traveling around the world, and we take our business with us in our phones. It's amazing. And then the last reason, and Troy touched about it, it's our personal development. In this business, you get paid to grow and to work on yourself. It is a personal development plan with a compensation plan attached. And the more that you work on yourself and your skills, the more money that you make. So it really is a win-win for yourself and for your income. And what other business pays you to become a better person, to become a better servant to the world? And that to me is just priceless. So with that, I want to introduce to our founder, our formulator, and my friend, and I think that that's the most important to me, is that he's just not the owner with Amy, but he's also my friend. He's her equal, and he's a brother. He's the visionary. He's the one that created all of this with Amy, and he's just such a great human being. Sometimes I could cry. You and Amy have changed my life and the life of many here today. So I want to pass it over to Dave Sandoval. Dave, thank you so much for everything that you do
for the world. Wow, what an amazing group of people we had sharing their stories today. And you might have noticed that they're all exactly the same. Practically twins separated at birth, right? No. Yeah. They're all completely different with their own unique style, their own personality, their own wants, needs, and desires, their own vision. But they have one thing in common. They have several things in common. And it's those things that make them alike that are far more important than all of the amazing, incredible things that make them unique and different. Because that's what brings us together. So there is a saying, and not everybody understands it, what it means. So I want to say it to you all right now, and that is namaste. Now, for those of you who don't know, namaste means that I honor that with that which is in you. Okay, I honor that which is within you. That is the same as that which is within me. For it is those things that make us, okay, one. It makes us one. And that thing that's in you and that thing that's in me, in my mind, is God. We're all children of God. And so when we see another person suffering, when we see another person who is not living their life to the fullest, it's actually our obligation to look at them as our brother and to see how we can help them to have a better life. Okay? And I'm a big believer in the teaching someone to fish as opposed to feeding them a fish. I'm a big believer in making people independent and strong and sovereign. Okay, I don't want a lot of people relying upon me like I'm a mama pig with, a bunch of teats that everybody comes to feed on. That's not the way Purium is built. We make people independent. We make people strong. We allow people to build their sovereignty the way that they see it in their mind. So this partnership that we have between Purium, and what we call the corporate side, okay, the members and the corporate side, it's really seamless. Okay, we could not do what we do without you. And I guarantee that it would be almost impossible for anyone to do what we do without us. Meaning that if you wanted to have 40 or 50 wildcrafted, organic, raw, pure, non-GMO foods in your life every day that were the purest and highest standards, the amount of time, the amount of effort, the amount of money that you would need to put in to do that would be more than you have, probably. You know what I mean? And so the fact that we've taken decades to find the purest sources of foods, to check them out at the highest level, test after test after test, so that by the time you put that food in your mouth, you could be assured that that is the quality, the vibration, the purity, and the energy that you want to be you. So that when we say the quality of the food that you eat is equal to the quality of the life that you live, I want you to look at the children in this room. The ones who are 3 pounds, 5 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds, and say, one day they might be 180 pounds like I am now. Where are those other 150 pounds going to come from? They're going to come from the food that those children eat over their lifetime. Now, Carolina was an architect, an engineer, and she knows that if you use weak materials, okay, and I hate to put it this way, but you look at what just happened in Turkey. All those buildings fell down. Why did they fall down? Because they cheated on the way they were built. They thought we could get away with not building it as strong as they say to build it. Well, that's what we do with our life. We keep thinking we could get away with not eating the way we're supposed to eat. We could get away with not having the quality of food that our bodies really need, but we can't. And when people tell me that quality food is expensive, that organic food is expensive, that Purium is expensive, I want to show them how expensive doctors' bills are, how expensive hospital bills are, and I guarantee you it don't cost nothing to live once you're dead. Save a lot of money on your bills. So Purium offers something that very few people are willing to offer. Okay? We offer, just like this tent right here is keeping that sun from beating down on us, Purium is a shield for you to hide under, to make sure that you're not affected, okay, by that weather out there that we call chemicals, preservatives, additives, sweeteners, coloring agents, all these preservatives and enhancers and food additives that are not food. And so if you want a safe haven, like this tent, Purium is this. You could come here and know that when you go to our website that you're going to get the quality of food that you need. Now, I cannot tell you, every single day I get 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 stories from you and the people whose lives you've impacted. And they tell me, it always starts out with, I want to thank you because you saved my life. Now, if any of you have been the ones who told me that, you know I immediately say, don't even put that on me. Don't tell me I saved your life. Because you're the one who made the decision to love yourself. You're the one who made the decision to get out of bed. You're the one who made the decision to put the right food in your body. You're the one who made a decision to stop doing the things that were killing you. And if you give me credit for that, then maybe it's my fault if you stop doing that too. And I don't want to be responsible for that. Okay, so I want to say this partnership is a beautiful thing. Okay, when people are ready, if you were ready to go swimming and you couldn't find a swimming pool, what are you going to do? Okay, but you could drive by a swimming pool every day. If you're not ready to swim, and it won't matter. What I'm saying is Purium's here. Okay, and we're ready for you to jump in, and we got what you need. And you could go in the shallow end and get started until you're comfortable with the water, or you could jump right into the deep end, because we've got you either way. But here's what I want to explain to you what makes this company so different, so unique, so worth your time, your money, your effort, is that this company only exists for one purpose, and that's to end human suffering. This company can only succeed if we succeed in that mission to end human suffering. The only revenue that's generated is when people buy food that their bodies need. Do you know anybody who doesn't spend money on food? Okay, then you're not asking anybody to do something they're not already doing. Okay? Everybody's spending money on food right now, and the food they're buying is killing them slowly, or maybe not so slowly. And so when you go to somebody and say, you're already spending money on food, and the food you're eating is killing you, and I want you to spend money on food that won't kill you, is anybody going to feel bad about asking somebody that? I sure won't. I never have. In fact, I walk away saying, I feel really good about myself right now because I had the courage to lead somebody and to tell them that I know where the light switch is. And if you're tired of being in the dark, let's flip it on. Okay? So at Purium, we only succeed if people's lives get better. A 30-day supply of food with a 60-day money-back guarantee. That's pretty bold. Okay? A 30-day supply of food with a 60-day money-back guarantee means that anybody who decides it wasn't good enough for them can get 100% of their money back, and yet they don't. We have the lowest return rate of any company in this industry, you guys. Means that when people get it, they don't send it back to us. They eat it, and if they don't, they find somebody who will. And so the only way this company succeeds is if we are making people's lives better. So who's going to be ashamed if they succeed and maybe get wildly rich at Purium? Would anybody mind if the only way you did that is by making people's lives better? So does anybody going to be ashamed of getting wildly rich?
No.
I didn't think so. Is anybody going to be ashamed of helping thousands of people improve their lives physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially? There is no shame in our game. Okay? There is no shame in Purium's game. To the contrary, I am so proud to be Purium because I've never seen a business like this business that keeps trying to get better on every level. We have now saved, and Amy will probably correct me because that's her job. But I think we've saved close to now get your arms around this number, close to 200 tons of plastic that would have gone into landfills, the ocean, and out there somewhere. Because less than 7% of plastic ever gets recycled. So we have saved 200 tons of plastic from going into that.
200,000.
Oh, 200,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's that? 20 tons. My apologies. Somebody do the math for me. 2,000 pounds per ton. How many pounds? So, a lot. Over 100 tons of plastic, thanks to you guys, is no longer polluting the earth. So, people's lives get better. The fact that the way we do business, there we go.
213.
Yeah, over 100 tons. You got it right.
All right. So you have to remember that there's very few industries that are set up that on every level are trying to make the world a better place. Our carbon food print. Do you know what the carbon food print means? That means the amount of energy it takes to deliver the food that you and your family eat to you. Now, if you imagine a farm with all these big fields, they're going to harvest that and they're going to put it into all these big diesel trucks that are refrigerated and transport it to a warehouse where it's washed and separated, and about 10% gets thrown away because it's not quite, pretty enough, and the rest gets sent on other trucks to the grocery stores. In refrigerated trucks to refrigerated grocery stores with little water sprayers spraying on the food. And then you're going to take it home, having driven there in your car, probably take it home in your car, put it in your refrigerator, and then cook it on a stove, maybe, if you ever get around to eating it, right? And so by the time it gets harvested from that field, transported in trucks, transported to the warehouse, transported to the store, transported to your house, put in your refrigerator, put onto your stove, about 10% or less of the nutrients that came out of Mother Earth ever go into a human body. And the massive amount of carbon used to transport those 10% of nutrients that ultimately get eaten, it's just insane. Now, if you compare that to what Purium does, we harvest in the field, we dehydrate, reduce it to 10% or literally 3% of its original size, which means we need one truck, not 20. It doesn't need to be refrigerated. We bring it straight to this warehouse and we ship it directly to you. Okay, now you see that now 95% of the food that was grown in that field gets eaten, and the amount of energy that transports it to you is reduced by 95% as well. And when it gets delivered to you, it gets delivered in a package that will be biodegradable and compostable and go back to the earth. So when you look at the problems that exist in the world, okay, We call Amy and Purium and all of you, we call ourselves solutionaries. There's visionaries that can sit around and dream about how they might change the world one day. And then there's solutionaries that actually come up